Welcome back to Ignite the Beacon. I am Sergeant Caruso, and this is Sergeant Prowant, and we are going to be your host for this podcast. So there is always a need for instructors here at Keesler, and if you want to have an enterprise-level impact, there's no greater way to do that than to be an instructor. So our goal is to have an open and honest conversation about the opportunities and the challenges here at Keesler, and explore ways to support the base and the community grow personally and professionally of our service members. Today we are joined by a panel of our warrior-minded individuals who are passionate about sharing their experiences and insight here on Keesler. So do you guys mind introducing yourselves?
Yes, do you want to go first?
Go for it.
I am Sergeant Carr, first name Dalton. I'm originally from Michigan, and I joined the military just to get out of Michigan. My first time on an airplane was actually on the way to basic training. But I grew up on a farm, so I was just dying to get out of there. And really wanted to join the military, so I joined the Air Force. I thought it was a smart decision. I'm married, no kids, but we do have 5 dogs. I know, we're crazy, but we have 5 golden retrievers, and they're all related, mom, dad, brother, and sisters. But that's me.
I'm Staff Sergeant Dakota Barrick. I am an air traffic control instructor here at Keesler Air Force Base. I grew up in a very small town in Pennsylvania. Newport, Pennsylvania, had a graduating class of about 60 people. Couldn't get anything going after high school, didn't want to go to college, so I decided to join the military. Spent my first duty station at Holloman Air Force Base, New Mexico, and then I volunteered to become an instructor.
Awesome, so you both volunteered?
Yes,
sir.
well,
Okay.
there's a story behind that.
How'd that happen?
So I was originally at the 53rd. It was the ATCS, now it's the CHAOS, the Contingency Airfield Operations Squadron. I did RAWS there, Radar Airfield Weather Systems, where at that unit, we deployed a lot, and we went TDY all around the world doing humanitarian and just over to the Middle East all the time. And my wife actually asked me to do something else. She asked me, like, hey, is there any other job you can do where you're not always away from home? And it was always a dream to be an instructor, so I was like, well, it just happened to open up right at the time we had that conversation. So I hit the button, and I think I got lucky, and that's how I volunteered.
That's awesome. So it sounded like for your family, this has been adding a little bit of stability for you?
Yes, very much stability. For the most part, as an instructor, you won't deploy unless you volunteer to. I haven't had to go on TDY since I've been here. There are opportunities, but if you like the home life, then definitely.
Now, Sergeant Barrick, for you and your experience as air traffic controller, now coming to be an instructor, has there been any changes in stability for your family?
Yeah, so coming from operational air traffic control, we were always on rotating shifts. Holloman Air Force Base was between days and swings, and our hours would change based on the flying mission. We always worked to support the airframes and the pilots that we were trying to train up. So coming here, having a steady schedule has been a big change, but it's been awesome change. Kind of get a sleep schedule together, get to plan out more weekday activities than just relying solely on the weekends that you might have off. So a lot more stability in my life as well.
Back to the family piece, like what does that now give back to the family now that you're here?
So just being able, every single day, here we work from 6:30 until 3:30 to 4:30. It just depends on how the students are doing that day. But being able to come home every single night, not having to work nights, be there, tuck my kid into bed, spend dinner with my family, actually plan get-togethers with other friends during the week, make plans for the weekends to where we know we're all actually going to be off, available, and
That's awesome.
get together, have a good home life a little bit.
I think that's something that sometimes we take for granted, like in this position, you know, we really do get that opportunity to spend more time with our family.
To continue on with the schedule, for a lot of our Air Force partners that have standby phones, there is no standby phone here at the instructor schoolhouse, so that's nice. So we don't have to worry about those late night calls to come in.
Yeah, that's how. So I'm from cyber. I'm teaching cyber fundamentals as an instructor here, and that's the same way with us. When I was at my last base, we had to push that standby phone around, and when it was your time, it's your time, and the base needs you. So, but being an instructor, it's not quite like that. But we might have to come do a dorm raid every now and then.
Every now and then.
So your initial impressions when y'all got to base, so y'all been to Keesler before, right?
Yes, sir.
But the time before that was training or maybe for some TDY. What is it, your first impression being back as permanent party as an instructor been? Like, what was your first impressions like?
Just in general, the area, it was, I want to say breathtaking, but it was nice. It was a different experience being here and being able to travel more and being able to see everything, having the time to go out and do stuff and see the local culture. That was really nice.
For me, it was night and day. I mean, we talked about it a little bit before. You were at Holloman Air Force Base as well. Holloman's kind of in the middle of nowhere. You really had to drive to get to go do anything, middle of the desert. But 45 minutes you could drive to some nice areas, hour and a half if you want to go to a city. Biloxi is really nice because you kind of just have a little bit of everything. I get to go fishing with all my buddies during the week, the marina, we go on the weekends. There's a golf course on base.
Did you get your boat license on base?
I did not get my boat license yet. We just do dockside fishing, but
Okay.
I've gone on a couple charters. Me and a couple other instructors have gone out in the Gulf. We've gone just back in the bay. Getting to do that, having good food places to eat. I mean, New Mexico was great for Mexican food, but here there's a large variety, so there's just a lot more to do here compared to Holloman.
Sometimes people think I'm a little crazy because I say, like, when I'm thinking about the bases that had the best food, it's honestly here because it's so diverse. There's the tourist
Some great
industry, but
restaurants.
even the great mom and pop shops that are in downtown. And if you go out into the woods a little bit, like out in Wool Market, you can go find like a good crawfish place. And you know, I'm not a huge fan of crawfish, but my wife loves it. But
I did get my boating license while I was
Oh, you
here, and we've rented pontoon boats a few times from the marina. We were kind of bummed out because you can't leave the back bay, so you're not allowed to go out in the ocean, but you wouldn't want to take a pontoon boat out there anyways. However, we found out there's a lot of stuff to do just in the back bay, just going around with the boat, whether it's fishing, and you can go up the rivers quite a bit, and I say we stopped at a couple dozen different restaurants around the way, just chopped right off the boat, right to the restaurant. So it was a lot of fun.
that's awesome. One time, whenever I was permanent party here for the comm squadron, we had a summer bash, and somebody had their boat license. We rented one of those boats, and we just took it around the bay and came back, all like during, you know, some morale time that was given back to us. It was really awesome, just going out and seeing that in the water.
Did your spouses, like, were there anything that was keeping them from wanting to come here that maybe once they got here, they're like, oh, it really isn't that bad?
So I think for me personally, it's just word of mouth. You know, everyone talks about every base they've been to. We knew people that were at Keesler before, and it all just depends on other people's opinions. Some people say, oh, there's nothing to do there whatsoever, blah, blah, blah. Well, finally I got to sit down with my wife and I talked to her, and this is what this location has. This is what we're working with here. It wouldn't hurt for us to go and see a little bit more. I knew, being a student here whenever I came through, all the availabilities that were down here. So I kind of talked to her a little bit. She was a little hesitant just because she was hearing stuff online, whatever, but there's always going to be negative people talking, but it's not the people that make the base, or it's not the location always, it's also the people that make the base, and thankfully we've had great people here, but the location here has been perfect for us.
I guess, like, my question from that is, did your or your wife's or your family members' perception about the area change since you got here?
100%. My wife actually wants to stay here now, but I had to tell her, sadly, that's not the case. It's a
Yeah.
3-year tour for us, so in about a year and a half, we got to move on.
Yeah, it's tough. And I know that there's some opportunities that allow people to do an extension, but it's kind of at the needs of the Air Force. And if your leadership thinks it would be good for your development for you to stay or go, it's kind of tough. But yeah, there's a lot of people who find out they want to stay once they get here.
I can tell you I'm doing everything in my power to stay. But my wife was ecstatic to move down here. She loves the beach. The water could be a little bit nicer, but
Ain't nothing wrong with that brown water. You can go swimming in it. You just got to watch the flags.
I don't go swimming in it. But the beach is beautiful, and we walk down 90 down the beach boulevard all the time, and there's all the restaurants down there, so we love doing that. She was a home girl. She grew up in Georgia, so moving her out of Georgia was a little hard. It was a little difficult for her to get away from family, but like I said, she wants to stay here just as bad as I do.
And it's not too far away from Georgia.
No, not too bad. Not too bad at all.
just shifting gears a little bit. So we've talked a little bit about your first time here experiences, what your family has been like, but coming back to Keesler and now being as an instructor, how do you think that Keesler Air Force Base is leading the way in things like innovation or technology? Is there anything that y'all are doing different here that's innovative in comparison to where you came from?
I am super excited about course rewrite. I know it's a lot of work, but I am very prideful in being that we are writing the course for the future of our career field, and how we're revolutionizing the way we measure our students and how we train our students. And I have good feels that we're making a better project for our students, and I'm very proudful.
So you're getting an actual hands-on
Yeah.
experience of shaping your career field. That's
Exactly.
huge.
And I told we had one of our other instructors. He's writing some kind of cyber stuff into our course,
Okay.
which is a little bit new for us. And I told him, I was like, hey man, you're pretty much writing the cyber fundamentals for our whole career field for years to come. And he's like, wow, I didn't think about it that way. I was like, yeah, it's awesome. So, but we are getting away from tests, which is kind of cool. I don't know if other career fields are doing that. I know ATC, they use a lot of practical
all
applications.
performance blocks.
Performance, progress checks. And we're trying to go that way in our career field, because right now we test every single block. We have 16 blocks and we test to get to the next block. It's a written measurement. However, in the field, you're not really tested. You don't sit down and take a written test when you're in the field. You're actually doing stuff.
The real test is, can you solve the problem?
Exactly. So that's what we're going to. More of an evaluation system where can you tune this radio? Can you fix the radar? Can you set up the weather equipment? And so
Interesting.
I'm excited about that.
What about in air traffic control world?
So even operationally, I'm a tower air traffic controller, so I teach tower air traffic control here at the tech school. The same simulators we use operationally are what we use here. It's just anywhere between 5 to 10 screens all laid out in the layout of an airfield. And one of the big things they've really been trying to push on is the implementation of VR, to where the biggest limitation we have right now is in a tower cab environment, you need to be pretty much scanning that whole 360 degrees. You could have aircraft flying behind you, you have aircraft flying in front of you, but on the screens, they only get to see directly in front of them. So we have a test product right now, kind of, where it is a VR tower scenario. They put the headset on, they can move things around in the tower, they can start the scenario, still voice recognition, so they say the correct things, the aircraft will do it in the sim, but they can actually move around a little bit, turn the whole way around, they'll be able to see behind them. So that's kind of the way we're trying to get, just a little bit of trial and error, because I guess they found some issues with motion sickness, stuff like that they're still trying to work through. But if that could be the end goal and that gets implemented anytime soon, I could see that being a huge win for air traffic control, because it's the closest thing to putting someone up in a tower and actually working that we can get while keeping everything safe and orderly.
I mean, that's the innovation I'm really talking about. I'm like thinking about not just how innovative it is like with technology, but as a teaching tool. These next generation airmen coming in, they're already familiar with the virtual reality simulations, all the games that are out there. And so y'all just are taking something that they're already familiar with and now creating another sim for training. That's incredible. That's awesome.
It's fun.
I know I just submitted up a list of equipment that we don't have here that we use operational that we would want on VR. So, and that's the problem, is our equipment here, it's hard to maintain. The students touch it every day, so it breaks a lot. And so if we could get other equipment that we don't have, or the equipment that breaks a lot on VR, it would be very helpful as well.
Yeah, because you can break it a million times in VR.
Just put it right back
Doesn't
together. And we actually had some VR people come down and show us what they can do, and as far as taking apart a whole engine in a car, and from down to each and every single nut and bolt. So it's very detailed in these VR setups, so they're really cool.
That's awesome.
Changing gear to professional development, what opportunities have you had for professional development and training while serving here at Keesler?
Some development I've had is supervising civilians or working with civilians. Most of the time at my other bases, we've had 1 or 2 civilians. You usually have a couple civilians in ATC, but here I'd say it's about half and half civilians and military instructors, and it's a different world when it comes to working with civilians and how that goes. So that was a development that I had to work through.
And with this year, with all the changes we've had, it's probably been even more of eye opener.
Yeah, a little bit. Other professional development, some courses that they have here is the elite course, which is an enhanced learning center, which you can go take, and you can go to FACD, faculty development, and they offer a broad of courses that will cover anywhere from better instructing to course development, course rewrite, and all that stuff. And with being so close with the comm squadron, I know RAWS instructors, and I believe any instructor on base has the opportunity to go over and take Security Plus or CompTIA certifications, and they could do that for free, and they can shadow you guys, and they can just go take the test and get those certs here.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You can audit, as a AET instructor, you can go and audit any AETC course that you are also have the clearance for. So it's, I mean, you can go, if you want to go learn about finance, you can go sit that course if you want to, or whatever it is that's interesting or that you think could help niche to help you develop in another aspect. Did y'all take anything through Dragon U? Dragon University, our professional development center here at Keesler?
I have not. The most I've done is the faculty development courses, just working towards master instructor, trying to get that under the belt. But before we move on, just real quick, like Sergeant Carr was saying, I think one of the biggest perks of being in a place like Keesler Air Force Base is the networking. Student throughput, the further development of our 3 levels and going into the career field, that's always been a hot topic for all senior leadership for all career fields. So a lot of the times they're coming through the schoolhouse, they're trying to figure out what changes they can make. And you get a lot of time with them to kind of sit down and talk like, what is the vision? You kind of get to see the bigger picture at the end of the day, and even below that, every single civilian I know knows almost everyone in my career field. Like, it's insane. But just the networking of, hey, you know this person, can I get a hold of them? I have a question, maybe they can help me out with something, and it's awesome.
With that piece, you being in the air traffic control world, in terms of developing for your career, are there different certifications inside air traffic control inside that career field?
We do have slight different things we can do in our career field. We can do contingency operations. We can do landing zone safety operations. We have automations. We have TERPs. We do offer some of those courses here to where if we had a little bit better manning, I think, we'd be able to slide around and kind of, hey, you want to get this knocked out while you're here? Like, super expensive courses in the civilian sector. Just, you want it, go get it, you know? But realistically, with how we're set up right now, it's pretty much, we need to get students.
Yeah,
through,
it's really challenging. So there's no off-podium time
Not
for y'all
much.
right now, which is why we need people to click the button and become instructors so that we can make sure that, you know, our instructors do get that off-podium time, which is something that we capitalize on whenever I get that. I'm following up on all my other taskers and my other additional duties, but when there isn't that going on, I've signed up for BIC, not BIC, sorry, from FACD, who does BIC. They have the elite course, and then I'm signed up for the new instructor supervisor course. And that's, you know, that off-podium time is a great time for us to use to kind of get ahead in some of the aspects of our career while we're here. So,
What opportunities for mentorship have you had here or being a mentee?
I mean, that speaks for itself. You talk to the students every single day. Even me sitting in the instructor supervisor role, I get students that walk in. There's new problems every single day with the students, and they all got personal stuff. Even you think these 18-year-olds come in that they don't have anything going on, but they do. They got a whole life, and some of them got family and they got issues, and it's just being a mentorship to all those new level students. But not even that. This is one of the biggest shops I've been a part of, being here at the schoolhouse. We have almost 34 instructors, so most of my shops don't have that many people. So with that being said, got to mentorship all of them as well.
Yeah, we try to, once we get all our daily appraisals done, once we give them extra practice runs and everything, usually around like the last 15, 20 minutes, depending on how the day is going, sit down and we call it airman's time. So a lot of mentoring is being done to where it's almost like the students look at you as their first real supervisor. Like, it's amazing how many questions they might have just on the most random topics, but it's stuff that realistically they aren't learning right away in their Air Force career.
Yeah.
And even stuff, just basic things like the TSP, setting up their retirement plan, investing. Like we have a bunch of people, a lot of civilians as well, that are very into it and are very passionate about, if you want to succeed in life, let me know. Some of the instructors actually, one of my good friends, Sergeant Mazzolini, he started this Gator Green initiative over at Cody Hall, to where it pretty much gives them an hour at the end of the day if they volunteer, stay behind from 3:30 to 4:30, and they can ask any question they want.
That's
and
awesome.
Instructors stay behind, civilians stay behind, and we answer it to the best of our ability. We answer honestly, and whatever we can do to help them succeed in the Air Force and just in life.
That's like going the next step in mentoring as well. And I always try, I mean, in my class, I try to do the same thing. And I think that's where probably the most rewarding parts. There's some times when a student's like really having a tough time, you can tell they study, that's pretty rewarding. But whenever they're asking questions and I can see a little bit of myself in them, like I know I felt like they look right now, and I can give them a little bit of the hard-earned wisdom I've gotten along the way, right? Things that I wish someone would have said to me, and they may have said it, and I didn't hear it. But, you know, we still have to try, because that is legitimately the future of our Air Force that we are molding and shaping and helping guiding them, because you were right, they have a whole life that not only do they have a whole backstory, they're going to have a whole, like, multiple chapters, hopefully successful ones ahead of them, you know. That's
I tell all my classes, there's a high probability I'm going to end up working with at least a couple of you
It's a great point.
as soon as I'm out of here. So please let me try and set you up for success so you don't become a pain for me later on down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your attitude matters, right?
Yeah.
If they, like you said, a base. Some people just don't like a base because maybe they heard negative things. But so if you as an instructor are kind of trying to change that mindset for them, that can really set them up for success.
What would you say for y'all was your most rewarding moment so far, or a rewarding moment that sticks out in your mind from being an instructor here?
For me, it was probably one of the students had someone really close pass away by suicide. So he felt comfortable enough to come to me as his instructor, talk to me about it a little bit, and thankfully he did, because I was able to set him up with the correct avenues on, this is who you need to talk to, this is how you get help if you want it, but this is obviously really affecting you, so I highly recommend you go handle yourself first, because at the end of the day, we can't do what we're supposed to do if there's a bunch of lingering things in the background. But yeah, just that, being that person for these students, because they're still fresh out of basic training. Now they're here, they have a little bit more freedom, but a lot of the times they're still scared of NCOs and everything. But
Yeah.
hey, we're people too. I'm here to make you better, and hopefully I can do that in every way. So that was awesome.
Mine's it just happens like every day. Like every day, you just see a student and they get it, they grasp on it. They start
When the light turns
you just
on.
you see it happen. They just have that confused face. They look down and you're like explaining it and you're explaining it, and they finally like, oh hey, and it's just awesome. It's just I don't get to do it enough nowadays because being an instructor supervisor, but it's so rewarding to see them like start to understand and just work on the equipment, just to see them like doing it by themselves. It's very cool.
It's always funny. We go through from the tower block. We do tower basic, tower intermediate, tower and advanced, and obviously basic is the big bottleneck. They're brand new. It's their first time working on the sim. Everything's hard for them. The students that get to advanced, I try to take them back to just a basic simulation and be like, look at how easy this was. Look at how easy this is now compared to how you felt back then. Like, a lot of it is just trust yourself, trust your knowledge, trust the instructors, and you will get through. But a lot of the times they put that own stress on themselves. So it's very, very cool to see the progress the students can make in such a short amount of time.
I think it's good that you do that, because it shows them visually and viscerally kind of also like how progress looks like. What does that look like? And instilling like a confidence, like everything's just a new challenge going forward. I think for some of my students, for me personally, whenever a student had failed a test or something, and then they either wash into my class or counsel them, but then I get to see them like turn it up a notch, because that might have been the first time anybody's
Final
ever
clicks
held them
for 'em.
accountable. Yeah. And or that they've ever opened a book to try and study and they didn't have the right mindset, and whatever I said or we said as instructor team together kind of changed that perspective, because we still need people to go and become airmen, right, and get operational. And so there's going to be challenge for some of them. Some of them are going to fail. And teaching them how to get back up has really been super rewarding for me personally.
I do have one question. So for staff testing, has it helped you make rank here?
It definitely does, because we have a fundamentals block as well that kind of just teaches all of the most basic air traffic knowledge. So I came here as a staff sergeant, but for tech sergeant testing. Just being able to review that, and this is the stuff that air traffic control career field managers, they say this is the stuff we need to know, right? This is the basics. Know this, so that's just a good starting point whenever it comes to studying for like the SKT of, if this is stuff that we're expecting the 3 levels to know, this is stuff that I should probably know. So just getting those study guides from the course, being able to read through those and just get all that knowledge down first before I break open our other big books.
It does give you a competitive advantage for sure.
Yeah, not to give a sales pitch, but you're absolutely right. Like instructors, if you wanna make rank, like this is a place to do it. Like you're teaching the stuff that you're testing on, so like that's an easy way to study for the SKT.
In our career field, I'm the same as Sergeant Carr, so we're both radar airfield weather systems. We have 16 blocks. We have so much equipment. So if you were radar prior to the merge, you can go and learn airfield stuff. So it helps bridge that gap on equipment that you might not ever touch.
We're going to shift gears one more time. We're going to talk about, so in terms of community and camaraderie, do you feel like there's anything about Keesler specifically that sets it apart from other bases you've been to?
You go ahead first. Yeah.
I was wondering if Senator Caruso was going to chime this in. I'm attached to, well, I'm not attached, I guess I am. The wife and I, we volunteer for a crew, a Mardi Gras crew.
Okay.
And it's hilarious because every time I put a bullet in or write it in package, my supervisor's like, "You're what?" And I was like, "Yes, I'm on the honor guard for the Mystic Seahorse, where we dress up like pirates once a month. But we've raised over $18,000 this year alone for local community, for charities, for libraries. We've raised so much money, and it's actually a good cause." Even I at first was like, "You want to do what? You want to dress up like a pirate?"
So for the uninitiated, Mardi Gras, because not everywhere celebrates it, right?
Yes.
Is this something, did you know about Mardi Gras?
I knew about Mardi Gras, but I
Okay.
never
It's
seen
a
it.
real serious
It's
thing
insane.
here.
And my wife thought it was just, throwing beads and going down New Orleans and going down Bourbon Street and just throwing beads, but it's not all that is. There's actually history behind it, behind the whole Mardi Gras scene. And there's many crews all up and down the coast that they're involved in the community and they do stuff for the community, not just dress up like pirates, but we do a lot for the community. And and I don't think that's available pretty much near anywhere else besides here on the coast. So
Yeah. Well, that's really awesome, because that's a unique way to get involved in the community, and it's like part of the culture here. So you've definitely like woven yourself into the community. That's awesome.
I think one of the coolest opportunities here at Keesler is the Special Olympics whenever they come through. I mean, this year it was a national qualifier. And be able to go out there and support that event, a bunch of athletes that were just ready to get after it, and you see everyone all pumped up, ready to go, and you're there to help out, and it was awesome.
Did you volunteer to, did you help out or anything with this? Okay, what did
Yes,
you
sir.
do?
I helped out with the softball throw, so that was one of the events. We had to, it was insane, like it was rapid fire, so I think I probably got like 20,000 steps that day, because you're sprinting back and forth, yelling distances, gathering the balls, taking them back. But yeah, they stood on the line, they threw the ball, we ran down, we grabbed it, we measured it. Okay, this is how far, and then you're running back and going back and forth, but it was cool. It was
So
a good
you
time.
also got your fitness in that day, as the Olympians did too. Awesome.
I didn't get much fitness in. I was a chauffeur that day, for both days, so I just drove people around all the time.
Okay.
But it was a lot of interesting stories, and it was very rewarding to work with the Special Olympics.
So quality of life here at Keesler, it is a little different. I think this is one of the best places for quality of life that I've been to. How do you think that the base and the surrounding community support that quality of life for our service members and families here?
Well, I know the base and the local area have a really tight-knit kind of relationship. Whenever we have big events on base, they open it up for pretty much the open population, and they welcome us just the same. And I think it's pretty easy to say that the Southern hospitality is a real thing. I haven't met one person that I haven't been able to get along with down here, civilian or military, and it's been very welcoming. I found community with churches. I found community with just going out to dinner, having nice conversations with strangers that might be sitting across from a table across from you. Like, the people are very welcoming, and it's been a very enjoyable experience.
You talked about restaurants earlier. It's just, there's any food that you could ever want. It's here. There's some kind of restaurant for it, and the wife and I, we're not gamblers, but we go to the casinos all the time. It's for the food and the shows. My first week here, when I got here, we went and saw the Beach Boys, and so we love going to the country clubs, and there's the country bars, and there's so much to do around here. It's
Even if you're not a gambler, the casinos always have comedians.
Oh yeah.
Different artists come out and perform, and a lot of people just go stay to see what they have going on for that weekend. It's awesome.
The Biloxi Shuckers, you got the baseball team. They're fun to watch.
Yeah.
It's a fun thing to do on the weekday after work and go out there. We went a couple times. I don't know how we end up with them. Our ISs always end up with the VIP tickets, and so we'll be in the skybox, and like it's all catered up there as well. It's fun.
There's also usually a lot of opportunity with like the New Orleans Saints for football fans. Like, I had a bunch of buddies just this past weekend. They got to do the flag unfurling, and they got free tickets and concession money and everything.
That's very cool.
So just being out, go see an NFL game, go see the Shuckers play, all that kind of stuff. They have a lot of opportunities to get out there and see what's going on.
Yeah, we got to volunteer to be part of the stadium bodyguard, but we were down below in the pits, and we got to see the whole Saints team walk in. So that was really cool.
So, do y'all live on base? Did y'all choose to, or did y'all buy a house? What are your housing situation, if you don't mind me asking?
I bought a house up in D'Iberville.
Okay.
I'm just north of Academy, down the road a little bit from that, and we bought a little house. It came with a pool, so that was nice. It's 1.5 acres, and it's nice.
And so, what made you want to buy a house here?
Just investment, mostly, just to make an investment. I don't like to rent because I feel like it's throwing away money, but that's just a personal thing. But the biggest thing is every house the wife and I have owned, we've put a koi pond in.
Okay.
So we can't really do that. We live on base or we rent somewhere. So currently we have a koi pond. It's about 15,000 gallons. It's a little too big. But
After this, I might have to see a picture of it.
okay, yeah, our koi actually just had babies, so we have about 40 koi swimming around. And, but it's really nice. It's a little tranquility area. We go out there, the wife and I have coffee, we read our books, and we'll just throw some food at the fish and just sit there, and it's nice.
What about you, sir?
I live in base housing.
Okay.
Whenever I first came here, I got an apartment just off of Pops Ferry, about 15 minutes away, and then once some housing opened up, got available, I put my name in, and thankfully I was able to move in very quickly. I mean, it was a pretty seamless process, but we just like the base housing because a lot of the friends that I made within those first couple of months here all also happen to live in base housing, and they have kids, I have a kid, so it's real easy to, hey, what are you guys doing? You want to get some energy out for the kids, take them to the park, take them to the splash pad, whatever. It's a lot easier to just make plans, and good for my kid at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Is there a splash pad in the base housing area, or are you talking about the one at the marina?
So they have one at the marina on base. They also have a splash pad in one the West Falcon. But then all the parks and everything, everyone knows that base housing has about 10 parks per house. So.
That's a perspective I'm glad you shared, because I haven't been thinking much about like one of the main reasons you would live there is probably for that camaraderie, be able to spend time with other families who are also in the same stage of their life with their kids. That's really awesome.
It's a great feeling to be able to have my kid come up to me and say, hey, I want to go play outside with this person. and I'd be able to just let them go and not really have to worry too much. Like I know all the families around that are in the same neighborhood, because usually base housing, everyone comes from the same situation. We're all military. Maybe not everyone's from the area, so hey, nice to meet you. And hang out for a little bit, get to talking. Kids get together, they play, and then it's cool. Let the kids go out and play, and they'll come back whenever they're ready.
Yeah. What's your experience with school with your family?
So my kid isn't school age yet.
Okay.
So
CDC or daycare? What?
my wife stays at home.
Oh, okay.
So she gets to take care of her, and she started doing like little homeschooling things just to kind of get her ready,
Okay.
but not school age yet.
Awesome. Well, for you, what dog parks for you said you had 5 dogs?
Yeah.
So,
We haven't been to one dog park.
Yeah,
to
been
be
to one
honest.
dog park. Okay.
We have a nice subdivision, and we always take the dogs around laps in our subdivision. We have a big backyard, so we're just always throwing the ball with them in the backyard.
Yeah.
Or we take them down to the beach. We take them to the beach all the time and let them run in the water and just run down the sand, and they love it.
Okay.
Do you guys do any of the special events on base, like Cruising Keesler, the Keesler Farmers Markets, any of that type of things?
I've been to the farmers market a couple times. It's not bad at the marina, and we did they have the July 4th
Freedom Fest.
Freedom Fest.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. Got some good fudge in there, watched the fireworks, and I just happened to have my nieces and nephews in town, so they really enjoyed that, going to Freedom Fest. So what other stuff's on base?
Freedom Fest was the biggest one for me. Like I like cars, but not enough to go drive around and look at them that much. Kind of being this close to base anyway, and this close to coast for cruising the coast, you can kind of get a look at them anyway without having to be in the big event. But
Yeah.
the Freedom Fest that the base put on was awesome. Getting to see fireworks over the bay.
Are you involved in the Call to Santa that ATC does? You like simulate calling Santa on your guys' thing?
I have not heard that.
Yeah, usually ATC has a sign-up sheet for the squadron kids, and they can come in and you guys act like you're Santa and let the kids call Santa.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That might be more of a radar thing, because
Oh, okay.
they sit across and they actually, whenever the radar simulations run, they have other students working as the pilots. Ours is just all voice recognition, so they talk into a computer.
Oh, okay.
That's
And-
pretty cool, though.
We should
Yeah.
find a way to put the sleigh on the stars on the radar system.
Yeah, that would be awesome. And then you brought up cars. You're not very much of a car person, but you are. Do you go to, you want to say what, cruising the coast, scraping the coast,
we do.
jeeping?
We do it all. Sometimes we'll cruise the coast. So yeah, there's cruising the coast, scraping the coast, and jeeping the coast. I think there's other ones too.
And now Cruising Keesler.
Cruising Keesler, yep. So when we first got here, we bought a Jeep. We bought a Jeep Wrangler, and I don't think it's had the top on it since after the month we bought it. So we're always out cruising that. And whenever Cruising the Coast is going on, or any of them, we like to just go sit on 90 and just watch all the old cars. They're beautiful. Not so much scraping the coast. That's with all the trucks that are driving up and down. But a lot of times with Cruising the Coast, you see so many beautiful old cars. Just
That's
driving.
coming up next
Yeah,
month.
yeah.
Yeah.
We won't be here.
Thousands of people come into the coast that come and from even out of the country will come to the coastline.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's an awesome time, kind of a crazy time if you're trying to get anywhere.
Yeah, don't go down 90 during that time.
Yeah.
Just don't do it.
Use a
If you're
back
trying
road.
to get somewhere, yeah.
Now, since y'all have been here, what have been some of the biggest challenges for y'all, whether it's personal or professional, being here at Keesler?
I think for me, the toughest thing was public speaking. You would think, why would you volunteer to be an instructor if you hated public speaking? But I just looked at it as an opportunity for growth. And now every single day I'm talking in front of classes, I'm talking in front of graduations for classes where all the students are coming, and it just became a second-hand thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was like the biggest thing I've had to overcome, because I used to hate public speaking.
I think, though, it is now a skill, though, that going forward into your career, people are going to, see you more maybe as a leader, and you're comfortable in those settings. So that's awesome, though,
Yeah.
that you were able to overcome that.
It was a great learning opportunity for me, and now I get to put it to use every single day.
Mine was course development.
Okay.
I thought I would show up here and just look at a lesson plan and read some slides and teach. And I thought that was it. That's all I got to do. I just got to instruct. That's it. That is not true. Not to discourage people from coming, because later on I found out that it was rewarding to do course development, to be able to put my footprint on the future of our career field. Because, I mean, we probably heard it, like, what are they teaching them in tech school nowadays? They're not teaching them anything. But now it's cool that we're here and that I have the opportunity to be like, yeah, this is what we're teaching them. This is how we're making it better.
And it gives you an understanding of why certain things have certain outputs
Yeah.
as well. And so, and when we go beyond this and we're out in the operational side of things and we start to see things from airmen coming from tech school, we can give some feedback.
Yeah.
And we understand why things are working out the way they are.
One of the biggest hurdles was updating curriculum. It takes time, and
Yeah.
it takes so much time. But it's for a good cause, because it's a college credited system, so it has to go through college approval. So I understand why it takes time. I wish it would streamline or be a little bit faster to implement new stuff into the course.
Yeah, right now, we're not currently working on a course rewrite, but we're kind of looking at a restructure a little bit, because we noticed the majority of our performance-based washbacks and eliminations in the tower block is from Tower Basic. So we're just trying to figure out what parts we can move around and keep all the material the same, but make it more of a gradual flow of, this is the most basic things you learn, then it gets more difficult, and then it gets the most difficult. That's been a challenge, but we're thinking we got a good final product here that we can hopefully implement very soon and see how that affects our washback and elim rates.
The final question we got for you just comes back to, y'all are instructors, you've been instructing for a while now. What advice do you have for anyone who's considering becoming an instructor, or is on the fence, or have never thought about it? What advice do you have for them?
So one of the things that I've kind of structured my military career around is it's better to say yes and regret it than to say no and regret it. Like, it's better to take the opportunity, learn what you can from the opportunity, and then you can go down the road and say, okay, I did that, didn't really enjoy it, but I'm glad I did it, rather than, oh, I should have done that when I had the chance, but now I can't anymore. I think there's a lot of stuff you can learn from being an instructor. Like I said earlier, a lot of networking you can do, a lot of furthering of your own career, but just knowing you have an impact on the future of your own career field is rewarding in itself.
Don't let the stigmatism of this area being bad output that, because I don't know where that stigmatism came from. Like, I love the area, and I think most of us love the area, and it's a lot of fun stuff. So don't let that drive you down. But instructing is not that hard. It's a skill, and it's a skill that can be mastered. We have a new instructor that just teaching his first block this week, and he came into the office. He's like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if I'm doing it right. And I'm like, you've trained people. He's like, yeah, I train people all the time. I was like, it's a little bit different, but just think of training on a bigger scale. You're just training more than one person at a time. And if you can think of it that way, then I think you can pass that hurdle, and yes, and get a great skill that will last you your lifetime, or at least your career.
Well, I just want to say thank you all so much for coming today and
Thank
sharing
you.
your experiences with us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, this has been Ignite the Beacon. So we had a conversation about what it's like to be here at Keesler, be an instructor. If you would like to become an instructor, all you need to do is go and click that button. So go into MyVector to the talent marketplace and volunteer to become an instructor. And then if you have any questions, go ahead and make sure you're using your chain of command, talk to your chief, and make sure that this is, for your development and for the Air Force, this would be a right fit for you. But we would love for you to come and ignite the beacon with us here at Keesler.